Hi, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's been a hard week, and because of that, I wanted to take care of us and make sure that we can, just be with whatever's there. I'm not trying to like make you feel better or bypass anything that you might be sensing or feeling. But I thought that restorative yoga would be a good use of our time this evening and a good way to just practice being, and part of that being is being present with our bodies, with our breath, helping to regulate the mind without having to like say what we're feeling is wrong or that we need to like get over anything. So, um, my hope is that through this practice, you'll be able to tap into a bit of self compassion, self acceptance, and if anything, just strong acknowledgement of how you're feeling. So that's my goal for you. That I recommend having two bed pillows. These are literally just off my bed, so there's nothing fancy here. I also recommend having a blanket or two. I just happen to have some of these like thick wool blankets. You could use a Mexican blanket. You could use like a couch throw, whatever you have. Um, if you happen to have some yoga props at home, you may use those instead of these. I try to pick things that might be most easily accessible in your house. And so if you have a yoga bolster, you could use that instead of two pillows. And there's going to be one posture later on where we're going to have you use your blanket, but you could, if you have one at home, use a yoga block. So if you have those things and you want to use them, have them nearby. If not, blankets and pillows are completely fine. All right. So let's go ahead and get centered as we normally do. Sitting tall, please. Relax your shoulders down your back, the crown of the head lifting. Just go ahead and take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Aware of the sensation of the breath as you inhale. Aware of the sensation of the breath as you exhale. This breath helping to draw your mind to the present moment. This breath right here, right now. This inhale and this exhale. And if you want to really help ground the mind in the breath, you can repeat in your mind as you inhale, I am inhaling. And you can repeat in your mind as you exhale, I am exhaling. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. And awareness of the breath does bring us to the present moment. Nothing is more present than the breath. We're not concerned about the past. We're not projecting about the future. It's just this breath, just this body, just this experience right here, right now. Nothing else has to exist. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. I am inhaling. And I am exhaling. Now, part of this present awareness is the states of mind that you are bringing to this practice tonight. And I say states of mind plural. There may be more than one. Maybe just lightly become aware of those states, throwing out some options. Maybe there's some overwhelm or anxiety. Maybe there's some sadness and anger, fear. Maybe there's some strong dissociation. And those ones are classically on the negative side of the spectrum. You also might have some positive ones there too. You might have hope. You might have faith. And we're not trying to get rid of these states of mind or even change them. Through our practice, we might dial down the intensity of how they communicate, but we want to acknowledge how we are feeling in this moment. matter of factly, allowing that to be the truth of the moment. As well as the breath, I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Nothing else has to exist. In this present moment, let us chant Om 3 times. Deep breath in. Palms to heart. Lower the chin. Honor yourself as you are, just as you are. All of the states of mind, all of the feelings in the body, all of it is welcome here tonight. Bring it with you. It's an honor of all of that that we'll practice. Go ahead and rub the palms together. Bring those warm palms over your eyes. And then brush back over the top of the head, down the neck, bringing yourself on back. Okay, so restorative yoga. This is going to be a little bit different than, actually, going to be a lot of bit different than our normal flowy classes, mostly in the fact that it's going to be kind of start and stop. And so I'll demonstrate what we'll do, and then I'll have you get into it. Then we'll come up, we'll sit, I'll demonstrate what we'll do next, and then we're just going to repeat the process until class ends. So hang tight. I'm going to show you what we're going to do first. And what you'll need first is your 2 bed pillows. And again, just any normal unfancy bed pillows. Though if you have fancy bed pillows, you can use those too. And you're going to have them stacked with the rounded edge pointing toward you. And I'm going to sit with my back to the pillows. And the pillows are about an inch or so away from my seat. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to bring my legs into butterfly, Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet are together, the knees are falling wide, and then I'm going to reach behind me and compress down the pillows closest to me and just recline back down over them. This already feels good. And then allow the arms to open up toward the ceiling. My hands are about a foot away from the hips. Now, if this is uncomfortable in the hips, if butterfly is just not your jam tonight, what you can do instead is you can take the feet a bit further forward. Sometimes that relieves the pressure. Or if at the end of the day you just want to take the feet wide, this is totally acceptable as well. Okay? So I'll walk you through it if you're not there already. If you're doing butterfly, you'll bring the feet into butterfly. 2 pillows stacked behind you. Reach back behind you, compress the pillows down, and then just go ahead and relax yourself on down over the pillows. Arms resting out to your sides, palms face up. And again, if you don't like butterfly, you can just extend the legs forward, but have the feet nice and wide apart so the hips can relax open. And the palms toward the ceiling are making sure that the heart can open, the shoulders can relax here. And make any necessary movements that you need to right now so that you can relax just a bit deeper. Good. And then allow yourself to come into some stillness. Now, unlike our normal yoga practice, which is active, restorative yoga is passive. So we let gravity and the weight of our bodies do the stretching for us. We don't effort at all. In fact, the less you effort, the more gets done. So relax any tension that you might be sensing, especially for this posture in the chest, the shoulders relaxing toward the earth. Also, this is a little bit of an extension for the front of the body, so the belly as well. So see if you can soften the belly, the low abdomen, and then see if you can draw your breath down into your belly. Inhale, abdomen expanding, and exhale, feel the abdomen relax. And there's nothing else to do here besides that. Breathe to the belly. Now, one of the biggest challenges of this class tonight will probably be your mind, and that is fine. I'm going to ask you, when the mind wanders, to just return to the breath in the belly. And just like our centering practice, you can repeat in your mind, I am inhaling as you inhale, and I am exhaling as you exhale. Keep relaxing, keep softening. I am inhaling, I am exhaling. Keep relaxing. Noticing when the mind drifts toward whatever it's inclined to drift toward. Acknowledge the movement and then draw it back. Soft breath in the belly. Staying here for just a few more breaths. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Now you'll hear me say this a lot in this class tonight, but your first movement from this pose is simply the thought of movement. Mentally preparing yourself that we're about to shift. And the second movement is just to deepen your breath. Good. So to come out of this pose, bring the feet flat to the floor, knees bent, and just gently roll to your right side off of the pillows. Maybe stay there for a breath or so if that feels like it's needed. And then inhale, bring yourself up to a seat. Take your time. Sit for a moment, just feel the effects of that one posture. Maybe putting that in your memory bank because you might want that later. And though it's not a restorative pose, you might want to just fold over your legs here for a moment, just to counterpose to that last one. Good, then bring yourself up. And look forward, and I'll demonstrate the next posture that we're going to do. You just keep vibing with that back bend we just did over the pillows. Excuse me. So we're only going to need one pillow this time. Well, maybe two, but we're going to start with one and you'll see if we need the other one. Okay. So I'm going to take my pillow long ways. I'm just going to fold it in half like a hot dog bun. And then I'm going to place it down on my mat with the rounded edge facing my body. And so I'm going to be laying on my left side here. So that's kind of where that's at. And then kind of keeping it compressed down. I'm going to come onto my side and I'm going to recline down over the pillow. Now, my hip bone, for the most part, is still on the floor here. And then I'm draping my rib cage over the pillow so that the rib cage touches the floor ideally. So this is a side compression, which we'll talk more about as we're in it. Um, and so the pillow itself is kind of pressing into the soft tissue on the sides of the body. Now, once we're here, a couple of options. For the legs, you can bend the legs and just have them here. Some people like to have the legs kind of scissored open. Do what feels good for you. For the head, you can just relax down onto the arm. Now, if you have that second pillow nearby, you can bring the pillow under your head. The top arm can rest on the body or maybe down in front of you. Just whatever makes you feel like you're relaxed. Okay? So if you haven't gotten to the pose already, I'll walk you through it. So again, have your pillow, your singular pillow, and fold it in half like a hot dog bun. Now, I'm starting on my left side. You can start on whichever side you'd like to. And then I'm just going to drape my abdomen, my side abdomen, over it, compressing into the side of the body so that my rib cage comes to touch the ground on the top side and my hip bones are touching the ground on the bottom side. Extending the left arm down. And I like the pillow under my head. It's comfortable. So I'm going to use a pillow here. Good. And figure out what you want to do with the legs. You can try a few things and see what feels most supportive to you. Same with the top arm. Sometimes it likes to hang out up here. Sometimes it'd rather be in front of you, kind of maybe bracing you or helping you stay a little bit more up. Spend the next few moments and fidget. Get out any movement that needs to get out here so that you can be, 10 to 15% more comfortable. And then when you feel that comfort, just go ahead and relax here. Feeling that compression on the side of your body, pressing into the muscles that get really tight. The belly gets so tight when we're stressed. And so we're just starting with the sides here. We'll do more with the other regions of the abdomen in a bit. Just helping to pull some of that tension out here. There's also some light compression of the internal organs on the side of the body. And that may or may not be comfortable, but we're going to breathe with it. And send that breath back down to the abdomen. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. It's a natural tendency of the mind to wander. It's our practice to bring it back to the present moment. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Drawing the breath to the belly. We'll stay here for just a few more breaths. And allow your first movement to simply be the thought of movement. In a moment, we will shift. And then take a deeper, fuller breath. And when you're ready, go ahead and gently draw yourself up, being careful. And sit for a moment once you're there. Just feel sensation, whatever is present for you. Good. So we're going to do the same exercise on the other side. So I'm just going to shift so I'm facing the camera. But if you're on your left side, now you'll be on your right side. Again, folding the pillow in half. Have your other pillow nearby if you know you want it. Same setup. You can join me now if you want to, because we've done this once already. You're just going to drape the side abdomen over the pillow. And try to have the hip bone mostly on the ground, if not completely. And then try to have the rib cage on the ground as well. And figure out what you want to do with the legs. Figure out what you want to do with the arm or pillow. There's the top arm as well. Figure out where that wants to go. You can spend a few moments, spend a few breaths, just getting yourself as comfortable as you can here. And then allow that movement to still. Feel that compression on the side of the body. Gently tugging on those muscles, compressing the internal organs. Drawing your breath down to the abdomen. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Again, the least you do here, the less effort you put into this, the more that happens. Relax the body, relax the breath. No effort here. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Nothing else has to matter right now. just this breath, just this body, only this experience right here, right now. Staying for just a few more breaths. Keep relaxing. Allowing your first movement to be the thought of movement. And go ahead and take a deeper breath. And as you're ready, go ahead and gently, carefully bring yourself back up to a seat and feel what's there for you. So demonstrating this next posture, we are going to do something similar. So we've worked with the sides of the body, and even sitting here now, at least in my body, I can really sense the compression that's happened on both sides. It feels, what's the word to use for it? It feels a little stretched out in a good way. Like I can still kind of feel the compression there because we're kind of pushing, some of that tension out and bringing relief back in. And now we're going to do the front of the abdomen. So similar rules. And this one classically is a little less comfortable, but the more that you relax into it, the deeper it'll feel, the more that sensation will pass. And it's really asking you to practice being gentle with yourself. And so to demonstrate, I'm going to fold the pillow in half again. Try to. Good. And how thick this is really depends on like the density of your pillow, but this is about, I think at its biggest point is about maybe 5 or 6 inches tall. Then I'm just going to bring my belly down on top of it, the soft belly. And so the pubic bone or the ilium, the two hip bones are about on the floor here, and I'm draping the soft belly over the pillow. You can help push it under if you need to. The legs go a little bit wider. You can fold the hands underneath the forehead and rest here. If you have the other pillow and you want to use it, you can bring it under the head and turn the head to a side if you want to. However you want this to look, okay? And we'll give you some coaching while we're there. So again, fold the pillow in half, kind of figure out where the center of your mat is. And then I'm holding the pillow down as I kind of do a kind of a rolling plank down onto it. That way I can adjust if I need to. Hips on the ground as much as possible, draping the soft belly over that pillow. Your feet can be about mat width apart behind you. Head resting on the back of the hands, or you can bring a pillow underneath your head. Whatever works for you here to be a bit more comfortable. Now, I did mention before as we got into this pose that this is not the most comfortable of postures. And you may come across discomfort. I'm going to ask you to sit with that discomfort. not in a way that we're trying to ignore it, but we can bring breath to it. And when we do these abdominal compressions, we're actually just moving things around in there, internal organs, as we compress them. And so you're bringing relief to your system this way. And it's deeply, deeply relaxing to your nervous system. Of course, if at any point this gets to be too much, you can come out of it, but I'll just ask you to try to relax a bit deeper here. Soften your back. It may sound like a counterintuitive instruction, but do try to bring your breath to the belly here. And the breath in the belly brings a bit more movement to the compression of those internal organs. It also brings more toning to the nervous system. And though we are in a restorative posture, the navel is the seat of fire. So even here, doing this pose, we are stoking some internal fire. You might even start to feel a bit of heat in the belly. Try to ground your awareness there. Maybe you even sense a pulse at the navel. Keep relaxing. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Now, if you do have your head turned to a side, maybe turn it to the other side now. Keep relaxing, breath in the belly, compression to the internal organs. Staying for just a bit longer. Allowing your first movement to be the thought of it. And do your best to deepen your breath here. And to come up, I want you to be gentle. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Bring the knees a little bit closer together and just push up to table pose. You can slide the pillow out and just maybe relax back into child's pose, or you can stay in table pose. You can sit up, whatever you need to do. so bring yourself back up to a seat. Noticing what's happening, especially in the abdomen. We can still do a fire practice even when we're doing restorative yoga. That's good news. It's not always a bunch of chaturangas. All right. So for our next posture, you're going to get your blanket. And again, I have a pretty thick blanket here. And folded this way. It's one of the ones from Namaste if you were at that studio. And so I have it folded in thirds. I did until I unfolded it. And at this point, it's about maybe 2.5 inches high. And I'm going to fold it in half one more time. So now it's close to 6 inches high. Okay. Now, if you don't want to use this and you have a yoga block, you could use a yoga block instead. But I'm trying to use stuff that might be just found around the house. So you can use a block if you want to, but I'll use this. So I'm going to come onto my back here. Relaxing down. And I'll come into bridge prep. So heels underneath the knees. And this is just so we can get into the pose. So you'll have your blanket next to you. You'll lift the hips, slide the blanket underneath your hips. And the top of the blanket is at my waistband. Everything else is down toward the tailbone. And then I'll release the tailbone down onto the blanket, then extend the legs down to the floor, legs pretty wide, arms by the side. And then if that doesn't feel good, you can come up and try to adjust and maybe find a better position for yourself. And if you're using a block, you would just slide a block under instead, okay? So if you're not there already, walking you through it, folding your blanket so that it's a nice height for you, coming onto your back, lifting the hips, sliding that blanket underneath the hips, and then extending the legs down to the floor, and maybe adjusting if you need to. You can just keep trying until you feel more comfortable. So the heels are just a bit wider than your mat. Your arms are to the side, palms face up. And then just try to relax, especially the front of the hips, the groin, the low abdomen. And find your breath. Now, I find with this posture, you can fall into one of two camps. People either love it or they can't stand it. There's not a lot of gray zone there. If you fall into the can't stand it camp, I'm going to ask you just to stay in it a bit longer because we're just creating some more length in the front of the body here. It's a good counter pose to some of the compression to the abdomen that we've been doing. You can bring some breath down there to the belly. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. And if this does get to be too much, you can come out of it at any point. Maybe just relax on your back. But if you want to, just stay a little bit longer. We won't be holding this one as long as the others. Allow your first movement to be the thought of movement. Deepen your breath. Bring your feet flat to the floor. Lift the hips, slide the blanket out from underneath the hips. Bring the hips back down to the floor and extend the legs down to the floor. Just take a moment and adjust here on your back. It feels like there's some tightness in your back and you really want to feel some relief for that. You could bring your knees into your chest. Just adjust however you feel like you need to right now, keeping the movement to a minimum. And then go ahead and roll to your side and come back up to a seat. All right. Gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, everybody. So we're gonna bring back our stacked pillows for this next one. And this is gonna be an asymmetrical posture, so we'll do it twice, once on each side. So I'm gonna stack them behind me on my yoga mat. So similar starting point from the very first practice we did. But I'm going to sit tall. I'm going to have my feet mat width apart, and I'm going to have my feet pretty far away from my hips. So not up here, but pretty much as far as I can get them away without the toes popping up. So just back it up a bit. Good. I'm going to sit tall, and then I'm going to drop my knees to the right, rock up onto the hip. At this point, I'm going to reach behind me and grab the pillows and just draw them forward, so more toward the front of me, outward at an angle. So kind of shooting out from the hip behind you at an angle, and then pressing down the pillow closest to me. I'm going to relax down into a twist over the pillows. Now, once you're here, a couple things can happen. You can keep your chin turned to the left. You can bring the chin to center, or if you have the rotation in your spine, you can turn the chin to look behind you. But that might be too much for some folks, and that's fine. Okay? And then we'll relax for a bit. So starting at the beginning again, if you're not already working your way into the pose, sitting tall, feet mat width apart, and you're gonna keep them this wide apart. Drop the knees to the side, turn around behind you, and draw the pillows forward of you. So not back behind, but forward. Draw them really close to your body, compress them down, recline down onto them, feeling that rotation in the spine. You might need to pick up the hips a bit and kind of reposition them to help you twist a bit better. Good. And I'm kind of hugging the pillows with my arms. And again, your chin can turn in any direction, either side to side. Some people like just to drop the chin down straight forward. And we relax. And we soften. Making any movements that we need to make to be a bit more comfortable here, like always. And then finding our moment of stillness. Noticing where the mind goes when the body gets still. Drawing it back to the breath. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Can you relax a bit more? Let go of that effort. Let go of that tension. Staying for just a few more breaths. Your first movement is the thought of it. Your second is a deeper breath. When you're ready, bring the hands to the floor. Gently peel your heart and belly away from the pillow and carefully unwind back to center. Feel sensation. When you come out of it, you realize that twist was a bit deeper than it might have seemed at first. Good. And when you're ready, we'll do the other side. I'm going to flip my pillows to the other side of the mat because I want to keep kind of facing the camera, but you can just rearrange however you want to. So pillows start behind you, sitting tall, feet flat on the floor, about mat width apart. And then go ahead and knock the knees the opposite direction from before. So I'm going to the left this time. And as I spin behind me, I'll pull the pillows forward in front of me, off at an angle, press the pillows down, and begin to recline the belly, the ribs, and then the chest down onto the pillows. You can lift your hips and scoot them around a bit, deepening into the pose. Head can look forward, behind you, or straight down. And then fidget. Make any adjustments you need to here. Get comfortable. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Keep relaxing effort. Notice where the mind goes when you get still. Bring it back to the body, back to the breath, back to the present moment, this one right here. Staying for just a bit longer. Your first movement is the thought of movement, followed by a deeper breath. Hands on the ground, carefully peel your heart and belly away from the pillows and carefully unwind to center. Feel sensation, a nice deep twist. Good. All right. Bringing yourself on back. I hope you're having a good time because I am. So this next one is a supported child's pose. So you're going to need both pillows and you might even need a blanket. We'll see what happens here. So as I come to kneeling, where I would eventually go into child's pose from, I'm going to take my knees a bit wider apart. And then I'll grab my stack of pillows, the rounded edge toward me. I'm just going to bring them as close to my body as I can and even stuff them between my legs a bit. You can kind of sit on them too if you want to. Good. Now from here, we'll just recline the body down over, like so. Head turning to either side. Now, if the floor is still feeling far away, if it feels like this just isn't supportive and you're kind of like falling forward, a couple of options. One, if you have more pillows, go get more pillows. You can always stack another one on top here. You could also take your blanket and place it on top here, bring it closer to your body so you have a little bit more height toward your torso. And I'll just give you a little bit more room, or a little bit more height, I should say, to recline down, okay? So if you're not there already, I'll walk you through it. Knees are nice and wide apart. You'll slide the stack of pillows toward your body, even stuff them between your legs. Maybe put another layer of support underneath you, folded blanket, another pillow, and then just carefully recline your body down. The head might want to turn to a side. Might want to just be straight forward and down. Whatever you need to do to relax here. Especially here in child's pose, feel your belly soft. Inhale, pressing into the stack of pillows. Exhale, relaxing away from them. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. If your head is turned to a side, maybe turn it to the other side now. first movement is the thought of movement. Then your breath deepens. Be gentle. Carefully pull yourself back up. Just feel sensation for a moment as you sit. You may notice that even though we were doing restorative yoga, that you feel some stretch in your body. You feel some energy shifting or having moved. Your mind is affected. Now, the good thing about restorative yoga is that we still get a shavasana. We don't take that out just because we've been laying around all night. We still get one. And I baked in a little bit more time tonight so that we can do a systematic relaxation while we're in shavasana. Okay. And like all of our postures tonight, we'll do it in a very supported way. So I'm going to show you an option. If you want to do it, go for it. If you want to lay down like we normally do, you can do that as well. So I'm going to take my blanket that's folded still and place that at the top of my mat because that's where my head's going to go. And I like a pillow, but I'm using a blanket as a pillow and the pillow as a pillow. It's okay. It's kind of meta. And then I'm going to take the stack of pillows still and bring them to the other side of the mat. And eventually my legs will come to drape on top of them. So I'm going to recline down and show you what this looks like. Yeah, it's like this. And so my lower legs are on the pillows. They're not too far toward my body. And this keeps the legs just a little bit inclined. It's not really an inversion by any means, but there will be some flowing of blood from the legs and feet back up toward the heart, helping to circulate that in. So if you like this option, go ahead and come into it, but make your way into Shavasana now. However, you want to be comfortable here. And because we'll be here for a little longer than we normally are, you may want to bring a blanket over you, especially if the space around you is even a tinge cold. You'll probably just get colder as we're resting. And take your time as you move a bit, you get any fidgeting out of the way, you relax a bit more. Now, especially as we relax here and rest here, your mind may drift more than before. That's fine. You notice it has, just bring it back. Please bring your awareness down to the movement of your abdomen, that soft belly that we've been invoking all night. The inhale, the navel rises. Exhale, the navel relaxes. See if you can relax the breath to the point where the rib cage and chest stop moving. Pull all of the breath down into that soft belly. Inhale, belly expanding. Exhale, feel it relax, contract, soften. And if there's any tension still hanging out in the front abdomen or downward toward the pelvis, just maybe see that tension soften as well. That gripping, that holding tends to come in when we trigger into our fight or flight response. Here in this moment, that's not necessary. It doesn't have to do that job. It can relax, if only for this moment. Soft belly inhale. Soft belly exhale. Now, once your breath is relaxed down into your abdomen, I'd like you to try to balance the breath out. Sama Vritti Pranayama, which means that the length of your inhale is equal to the length of your exhale. Inhaling for a certain number of counts, exhaling for an equal number of counts. And a count is whatever you use for internal measurement. An estimated second, the sound of a syllable. Do your best to make the length of your abdominal inhale equal to the length of your abdominal exhale, keeping the breath in the belly. Inhaling for a certain number of counts, exhaling for an equal number of counts. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, it releases. Notice when the mind wanders, bring it back, even breathing to the belly. And keeping the breath even and keeping the breath grounded in your abdomen. Notice if there's any stopping, any hesitations or ripples during the breath. And if there are, see if you can relax a bit more and smooth out the breath. So it's a smooth, even abdominal inhale, a smooth, even abdominal exhale. Smoothing out the breath. A smooth, even abdominal inhale. Smooth, even abdominal exhale. And we'll keep the breath that way, and we'll add one more component to this practice. And that's to relax the transitions between breaths. So the top of your next inhale, relax all effort to allow the inhale to seamlessly move into the exhale without really stopping. At the bottom of the exhale, relax all effort to allow the exhale to seamlessly move into the inhale without really stopping. An image that's often used for this technique is a Ferris wheel. Inhale, riding it to the top without even stopping, moving into the descent, coming to the bottom without stopping, then right back into the inhale, allowing your breath to be even, smooth, abdominal, and cyclical in nature. Keep relaxing the transitions between breaths. Keep relaxing the transitions between breaths. Peace, peace, peace. Just feel what it feels like to be at rest. Let it sink in to your body, your bones, your essence, your mind. Take a snapshot of this moment, this deep softness, knowing that you can return to the state anytime that you need to. Being gentle, deep in your breath. Rolling to your right side. Stay on the right side for just a couple of breaths. And then from there, take your time transitioning up to a seat. And as you come to sit tall, just continue to feel that deep rest with you. Breath in the belly. Any shift in your nervous system that's happened over the last hour together. Present with this parasympathetic rest and digest and restore response. And as we head back out into the world in a few moments, whatever experience for you is on the other side of this one, know that you can return to this. Whether it's a singular practice from this class, whether it's the deep belly breathing, or maybe just retaking this class over again if you need it. Know that that support is there for you. And this is a space you can return to time and again. For now, take a deeper, fuller breath and bring your palms together, bowing the chin and just honoring yourself for your presence and non-effort in this practice. Giving yourself the permission to not have to do anything. And may that and this practice continue to serve you. So until we meet again, namaste.